Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday. It is February 9th. We have 4 days left until Valentine's Day. We're just going to roll right along with everything going on here at school, regardless of our weather, because we don't know what God has in store. So we're just going to act like everything is normal here, and we're just going to roll right along with our lessons, and we will continue to do that throughout the week as well. So on our dojo we have this morning, we have our reading. You again will read the Fighting for Freedom. You will complete the Standards Connection B, which is like the main ideas chart, and then you have comprehension questions to complete. So here are our word study. Make sure we are always going over those words and practicing those. Then we have our story. Okay, so here's our story that you will read. Here's our multiple choice questions that you will have. So people from Great Britain built 13. What did they build? Colonies.
There's more to do.
So complete those questions. And then here is our main ideas chart. So what is the text about? Remember now, click this to open it. So like I said, we're just going to do chapter 1. So the text was about the cost of war and about the new world. So I would type that in. And then we need some details. So what the main idea is what the text was mainly about in chapter 1. Okay. And now the details follow. So what supports the main idea? So like here is one supporting detail that I would definitely have in there. Many people had to work together and fight to make a new country. So the United States was not always the United States. There were people that came to explore, and they met up with Native Americans. So people from Great Britain and France, they wanted to explore the new land. So they wanted to find new ways to make money, how to have trade, how to take over the land that they wanted, that their own land. So knowing that the people came from other countries to make this new world, and they had to meet the Native Americans. The Native Americans taught them how to hunt and farm and how to get food. And they taught them how to live on the land, that they were not familiar with this new type of land, a new environment that the Europeans did not know how to live. So the Native Americans taught them how to do that. People from Great Britain settled and lived together. These settlers built 13 colonies along the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. A colony is a group of people who find a new area of land to build settlement. The people who lived in the colonies were called colonists. They were ruled by the King of Great Britain. That's an important fact right there as well. There were 13 colonies. These people were called colonists, and they were ruled by the King of Great Britain. That's important. The British colonists began spreading out, so they wanted more land. They were getting greedy a little bit. People from France also came and settled the new land. I know France is our French traders. They're really into fur. The colonists wanted the land that the French settlers took from the Native Americans. They wanted more land from the Native Americans too. So we're just trying to take over their land. And then a fight began between British and the colonists and the French settlers, which became known as the French and Indian War. So they were fighting against the British colonists, and the King of Great Britain sent soldiers to help the colonists, and the British fought the war and won against the French and Native Americans. So that would also be an important fact. So knowing that the king sent the soldiers to help the colonists, and they won the war against the French and Native Americans to occupy more land. Now, the soldiers, they not only fought, but the king, they did whatever the king told them to do. The king did not let the colonists spread out to the land they won in the war. The king made the colonists stay where they were at. So even though the king told them that he was sending help for them to get new and explore more land, the king said, nope, you got to stay right where you're at. So the war cost a lot of money. War costs a lot of money anyway. You have to supply your soldiers with everything they need. And it's just, it's a lot on the, even today, it's a lot of money. The war costs a lot of money. The King of Great Britain won the colonists. So after the king told them that he wanted them to fight and the king sent soldiers, he still wanted the colonists to pay for the war that he started and he wanted. He wanted the colonists to pay the soldiers who stayed in the colonies. You could see, I mean, I'm getting a little mad now that the colonists were angry. They were angry with the king. The king just ruled them. The king just ruled over these colonists. And here was a timeline. Okay, so when I would also wrap up right here. The war cost a lot of money. The king wanted the colonists to pay for the war. He wanted the colonists to pay for the soldiers who stayed in the colonies when it was his idea. And then, of course, the colonists were angry with the king. So those are your key details there. So I want you guys to put whatever you think is important after I try to explain in chapter 1 to you. So what is important to know is that to me, war costs money, and that the king ruled heavily, meaning a lot. The king ruled heavily over the colonists. There's more. Okay, then we did that. Edit. So for writing, I put on here complete journal activity number 2. So it says a capital letter begins each sentence. We know that. At the end of each period, we need a capital letter. People's names have capital letters. Names of places have capital letters. So if you go somewhere, Applebee's, it's going to be capitalized. Someone's name is going to be capitalized. A period goes at the end of each sentence. So we are going to look for 6 words that need a capital letter. So 6 words that need a capital letter and 4 places that need a period. Then we're going to number the sentences in order from beginning to middle to end. So let's go ahead and make our corrections first. I'm going to get my red pen out. Aaron is celebrating. Okay, Aaron is a name, someone's name, so it's going to get capitalized. Aaron is celebrating National Cherry Day on February 20th. Okay, we just need a period here. He reads on the pie box that the first president of the United States liked cherries. United States. That's a location. It's a proper noun, names of places. So we need a big U and a big S. First, okay, capital F. First, he takes a frozen pie out of the freezer, period. New sentence, we need a capital F. Finally, he eats some pie and thinks about George Washington as someone's name. The W looks like it's capitalized already, so we just have to capitalize the G. Second, Aaron, again, Aaron is his name, so we need a capital A. Aaron puts the pie in the oven for 1 hour and waits. All right, let's see here. Do we have 6 words that need a capital letter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. 4 places that need a period. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes, we got them all. Okay, wait, go back. We got to put them in order. So definitely Aaron is celebrating National Cherry Month. That's your main idea. That's what this whole little paragraph is about. Then I would start with first. Maybe this would be second. He reads on the pie box that the first president of the United States liked cherries. First, he takes a frozen pie out the freezer. Second, he puts the pie in the oven. Second, he puts the pie in the oven for over 1 hour. And then finally, would be last, finally, he eats some pie and thinks about George Washington. So yes, 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 we got them all. Next, we have math. We have math story problems addition. So these 1, 2, 3, all these 19 boxes here, that is addition. You have it vertically and horizontally. Both ways you're going to be doing it. You're also going to be carrying in some of these boxes as well. I will go ahead and do it on N2Y and then use your calculator to check, which N2Y will bing if it's right, but I would also put it in your calculator, practice those skills of putting it in the calculator and checking your answer. Now geometry. I did put on here that we have used the Math Google slide for help. So here is our Math Google slide. I've added these. So we have a plane. A plane is a flat surface that goes on forever in all directions. So you can see here the arrows that show in all directions. It just keeps going on and on. A point. A point is a dot that represents a place. So it's a certain location. Like we put a point on the graph of like X comma Y, 3 comma 4, and we go over 3, up 4, and we put our point. It represents a certain spot. A line goes on forever in both ways. So our arrows, they keep going and going and going. A line segment. Now we have a point and a point at the end of each at the line. So a part of a line with a start point and an end point is a line segment. Then we have slope. Hold on. Slope is how steep or tilted a line is. Can't see this. And the direction it is going. So a slope is kind of like our hill. Maybe we can go on a slope when we go sledding soon. So is how steep or tilted something is. Okay, then geometry lines, the types of lines. We have intersecting lines. So kind of like an intersection when you have like a four-way intersection. Intersecting lines cross at one point. So right in the middle here is my point of where they cross. They can make right angles and they do not have the same slope. Perpendicular lines now cross at one point, but they always make the right angle. See this little, remember our right angle, it's always going to be this little square right here. It's always going to make this perfect 90-degree angle. They always make right angles. They do not have the same slope. Now, parallel lines. Parallel. Think of when we parallel park. All the cars are parked in front of one another or behind one another in a line. They're never touching. They never cross. There's never one side by side because they have to stay along the curb or the sidewalk or whatever you may want to call it. So parallel lines never cross. They do not make any angles, such as right angles, and they have the same slope. Okay, so on N2Y, it goes over the vocabulary once again. Okay, it says, look at the point on the colonial flag. Put a point on the other corners of the colonial flag. So you can see there, it's just going over the vocabulary that we did. So knowing that we are looking for a point, and a point is a dot that represents a place. So we're just taking these points and putting them on the other corners. The next one is a line segment. This one is a line. So we have line segments that have endpoints and then lines that go on forever. Look at the black line on the colonial flag. Make another line that goes through the blue point and is perpendicular to the black line. Okay, so look at the point on the colonial flag. Make another line. So we know we have lines here that go on forever. There's no dots at the end of them. There's arrows because they keep going. Make a line that goes through the blue point and is perpendicular. Perpendicular. So to go back, here are perpendicular. Perpendiculars have to make that right angle. So we will put always make right angles do not have the same slope. So I would put this right here. Look at the black line on the colonial flag. Make another line that goes through the blue point and is parallel. So parallel are, remember, they do not touch. Parallel. So here's our parallel. I'm on the blue point and they're parallel. They do not touch. All right, I will do this one with you and then you can complete the rest of them. So talking about a colonial village, they make a map of where to go. Randy starts at the carpenter. Randy starts at the carpenter. That's weird. That just sounds weird. Randy starts at the carpenter and walks to the candle maker. So Randy, put a line segment on the map between the carpenter and the candle maker. So, okay, I guess it gives you the answer right there. Okay, I see. Put a point, Miss B's class is visiting an old colonial village. They make a map of where to go. Keisha goes to the blacksmith. Put a point on the map where the blacksmith is. So I would say our blacksmith. I don't know if you can put it right on there, but yes. Okay. So you follow those directions to complete the point, line, and line segments for geometry today. Then we have life skills application. In class here, we talked about those hot topics, and we kind of talked about how everyone has a different viewpoint on things, as well as we kind of researched some of them as well. Like the minimum wage or the testing on animals, that was a big one as well. Because then we were like, well, if we don't test on animals, what would we do instead? So just kind of go through those again. Maybe if you have questions over those, let me know. We can kind of have a good little conversation about it maybe. So completely up to you whether you redo this box or not. And then my CK12 students for Earth Space Science, you have learning about the Milky Way today. So make sure we watch the videos and read, and then you may do those questions. Okay. If I do not get at 10 o'clock, I have Miss Ashley leaving and I have a sub coming in. So if I do not get to you after 10 o'clock, I promise I will after school. It's always crazy when someone like Miss Ashley leaves because can't do anything without help in here. But we do our very best. And I know at Virtual Learners, this doesn't really affect you much, but I do just want to let you know whenever that happens that I may not be available if you're calling or messaging me. But I will get back to you, I promise. So I hope everyone has a terrific Tuesday. Stay warm. Hopefully that cold weather and that snow holds off until we get back home. So everyone have a good day. Bye.